sandwich is a bit of a carb overload. It surprised me when I found it. It was not too dissimilar from what I might think a British sandwich would be. And you'll have to forgive my pronunciation, but this is a Bocadillo de Tortilla, which is basically an omelette sandwich, but it is specifically a Spanish omelette sandwich. And what I found surprising as well with the Spanish sandwiches was, or at least in terms of bocadillo, is that they should be made in baguettes. I think they use a slightly different bread, like a Spanish style baguette, but I only have these kind of, I suppose, to be honest, they look a little bit more like paninis because they're quite aerated, but these are more of a French style, I guess. The packet didn't say, but yeah, first thing I need is some bread, and you will be happy to hear there is no butter in any of these sandwiches. Instead, there is, and I have a nice child's spoon there, some olive oil. So I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil and spread it on both sides of the bread. I don't know how much to use. Obviously butter spreads quite well, whereas this is just going to kind of soak into the bread. I'll give it a little bit of a spread anyway. Makes a nice sound too. I'm just going to put a little bit on the top as well, just to add a bit of moisture to this one. This one of the three sandwiches needs a little bit more, I would think, because unlike the other two sandwiches, there's not as much in the way of moist ingredients. just place the top on there, and it's simple. It is absolutely perfect in terms of its shape. So there we have it. Bocadillo de Tortilla. So I'm just going to cut this into what's roughly half. Maybe I'll cut one half slightly bigger so I can have a bigger portion than the wife. I'm having 3 sandwiches, I probably don't need that, but there we go. So let's just cut that. There we go. I don't know why I opened it that way. Just, it's not. I'm not doing that. I'm going to ruin the cross section if I do that. Just give it another cut on the bottom. There we go. Everything was going so well until that point. There we have it. Cross section. Wonderful. I'm going to place this to one side, and then we will make our second sandwich. Okay, so the second sandwich is, again, Bocadillo de Jamon, which is essentially a ham baguette, but there are some additional ingredients in there which should hopefully elevate this beyond a simple ham baguette. So, firstly, I am using the wrong bread. I don't need that one. I need this one, because this one has been toasted lightly inside, and I needed that to be toasted so that I could rub some raw garlic in there. So I have here just 1 clove of garlic. I'm just going to cut this across the middle. I won't need both pieces. And then it smells amazing, obviously. I'm just going to, and this is unnecessary and dangerous, I suppose, because I may slice my fingers, but I'm just going to cut some scores in here just to make it slightly easier to get some of that garlicky goodness on the bread. Actually, if I take the peel off, I think the sounds will be a little bit less harsh and papery. Maybe just a bit better for ASMR. Yeah, that's better. Just so you can see. I might have put too much on there. Can you ever have too much garlic? Keep nearly dropping it. Wonderful. And it's actually worn the garlic down. Some sharp bread. And the next ingredient that I need is small wedge of lemon. I love lemon, just a little bit, just for some freshness. And just, oh, it smells so good. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on the calamari. There we go. Perfect. And then let's just close that up. Move that out the way. And there we have Bocadillo de Calamares. And that's an impressive sandwich. I feel like it's not too dissimilar from a po' boy, like a fried shrimp sandwich, which I should really make. And I am looking forward to trying all of these. And here we have the cross section. Looks a bit messy. I'm just going to lay these out here. I'll only lay one out. I'm going to go and grab the other two sandwiches, and then I'll do a little bit of a taste test. There we have them. Let's move them slightly closer so you can see what we're working with. There we go, and I may as well try these in the order that I made them. So the first one will be the tortilla, the omelette sandwich. See what that's like. So interestingly, I actually think the olive oil adds a lot to that. Like, the actual omelette it's not moist, but it's not dry. The bread is dry, and the olive oil just elevates, makes it really moist. And I seasoned the omelette quite well, so it's nice and salty. And yeah, if I needed something calorific, that's a good choice. Probably good, maybe like a 6.5 out of 10, something like that. Let's try the Bocadillo de Jamon, the ham sandwich. For the ham baguette. This was the one, well, I'm looking forward to this, but I'm most looking forward to that. Let's see what this is like. The way the garlic flavour comes through